You know him and you love him from so many different endeavors. The once popular Chevy Nasty show. He is a Grey Cup champion. He is a father. He is a anti-bullying advocate. He's a raconteur. Gym freak. There's so many things that describe Randy Chevrier. I'm not sure that I've accurately portrayed all of them. CFL free agent, I could throw that in there. Chevy joins us this afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Where are you?
Are you on speakerphone?
Oh, we're not on speakerphone, are we?
Am I allowed to be on my Bluetooth in the car or no? Should I
No, what we need you to do is to hang up your Bluetooth and use your, distracted driving is what we encourage. So.
No, I'm parked. You know what? Here, wait. Is this better?
Yes, of course it is. That's 10 times better.
Well, I don't know. Like when I drive in the car, no one ever complains because you guys are divas.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's right.
I just wanted to hear your voice in its entirety, Chevy. I'm sorry for wanting to hear you.
Well, it's good to catch up with you.
Clarity.
Be well. We'll talk to you again.
Let's go do push-ups, man.
That's funny. No, I didn't know that there's a difference. I guess technology is not where it needs to be these days.
Well, you just sounded like you grabbed a tin can in a submarine and called us. So this is much better. Don't worry.
Okay, good. No, I prefer to be clear.
Okay. Well, we've got some business to take care of, and I know you're up to some things. But first is first. I mean, rookie camp opened yesterday for the Stampeders. Main camp opens up on Sunday. I'm trying to think of the last time you were not at a CFL camp. 2003. Does that sound right?
2003 would have been my first official CFL training camp.
Okay.
So it's been quite some time since I haven't been playing football this time of year.
What's it like? I mean, if we know, and I'm not trying to make light of it. You literally are a CFL free agent. You haven't filed your retirement papers. You told us a couple of months ago that you planned on, making sure people knew you were there if they needed you. I don't think anything's changed, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Things haven't changed. It's a little weird. It's kind of this mixed emotions thing where, I'm turning 40 next week, so I know that even if I do get a chance to play somewhere this year, it's almost the end of my career, let's just say. But in looking at that, I still want to play, right? And you still want to be around, and it still feels weird. But knowing that whether I play or not, it's close to the end. I hear all the guys that had played before me. They always say, just enjoy your summer, just enjoy the time off, And so I'm trying to feel that, and at the same time, feel that, okay, I want to get out and play. So it's a really weird time.
Are you in good enough shape to play right now, or if I called you and said I needed a long snapper, it would take you a couple of weeks to get ready?
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I actually, I went out to McMahon Stadium the other day, and like last week, I guess, and I ran the stadium steps, and I did a little long snapping workout for about a half hour. And no, I feel really good. I do everything I can to get in shape, short of finding 12 other guys to be on a team with and tackle people. I think that's the only thing I can't do these days. But I remain pretty committed to my fitness regardless.
Is Sunday going to be hard for you?
I don't know. I'm kind of distracted. Like when I talked to you this morning about coming on the air, I keep myself busy. I think I said it last time. It's like I wear all these different hats, or I call them boxes that I kind of open when I need to. And, the football box is there, and if it needs to be open, it's there. But, right now it's like I'm the dad, I'm watching my kid at the playground, waiting for my other two sons to get out of school. And, they have lacrosse and all these different things I do that keep me busy, that I say, you know what? Football would get in the way of those things. We'd have to figure out a way. So right now I'm just kind of immersing myself in all the other things we've got going on. And, I don't think about it too much. But if the call comes, I'm ready.
What would your wife say if I asked her what you were like right now? Because when you did the Chevy and Nasty show, I remember one conversation that you and Sheldon had about training camp and the start of training camp and how difficult it was to kind of be around you. Not necessarily mood, but I think one of the stories you told was the fact that you had to change your sheets on your bed every night because, you'd be all scarred up and scabbed up and things like that. I mean, it's a different animal for being the spouse of a professional football player.
Yeah, no, definitely this time of year is going to be different for our family as well. Usually, let's say come this weekend and disappear for a month, and it was a lot easier when we didn't have kids early on in my career. I'd be gone every morning at the stadium at 7 a.m. and usually get home 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And maybe if my wife would come to say hello to me between practices, that's about the extent of how much we've seen each other. But once you have a family and you leave for a month, there's a lot more logistics involved. They're still in school at this time of year, still wrapping up. They still got tons of activities. So in the past, let's say 3-4 years, it's kind of a grind scheduling all that. So I know that one thing, my wife works full-time as well. It'll probably take a little bit of load off her, knowing that I'm going to be around. And as I said, I'm not at the house stewing about wondering what to do with my life. I do wonder what to do with my life, but I don't stew about it. I don't stew about it. So, I'm enjoying some time. One thing that my wife and I are going to be taking advantage of is, for the first time in 15 years, we'll get to celebrate our birthdays together. My wife and I are both turning 40 next week. So we're going to take a little trip together and, just enjoy that moment that, we otherwise wouldn't have had a chance to enjoy.
Well, you know what that means, don't you?
What does that mean?
You'll be on a roster by next week. Randy Chevrier is our guest here on the big show, Pat.
Okay, Chevy. So tell me about the actual routine this year, not knowing where you're going to be playing. Has the actual routine, training, all that type of stuff changed at all for you?
Not too much. I don't stress about the training as much because I've kept myself in such good shape my whole career, and even now I train. We call it, just the right amount. Whereas I used to go overboard, and I used to even kind of make myself sick with the amount of training I used to do and stuff. And now it's like, I'm not gonna say I ease off the gas, but I obsess about it less, and I think it's actually been better for me. The one thing that I can always say, I can improve my diet a little bit more. When you don't have a contract and you're kind of dealing with that, as I was a few months ago, it's like, oh gosh, the carrot's not there at the end of the rabbit hole, and so that might be the only place I struggle with is just I'll have a little muffin when I go for a coffee and stuff, but that's very easy to control, and that's about the only, let's say, slack there is. But everything else is just I do my routine. You can only train so many hours in a day when you do train, otherwise it's unhealthy. And then I do the rest of the stuff that I'm responsible for, whether it's family, whether it's work, or whatever I've been doing up to this point this year.
When you're grinding it out in the gym, like, what's motivating you? Is it hey, I'm motivated to get back to the league, I'm motivated to play again? Is it I just want to be as fit as I can possibly be? What's kind of driving you when you're going through what can be an absolute grind?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a great question, Pat. I do enjoy fitness, so there's always been that part of it that is just an enjoyable aspect of my life. It's kind of like you can get away from things in the gym. Training for the possibility of a call and going somewhere to play is always there. You have to be ready. And the other thing too is I know that the next career that I want to start pursuing, or I'm sort of in the queue for, maybe a couple of years away, is I've applied for the Calgary Fire Department, and you have to be in shape for that. And so I don't want to let it slip. So I've got quite a few factors motivating me to keep fit and to keep in shape.
Chev, what is the process for going through the, not just the application process, but the waiting period and all of it? What's the process like to potentially become a firefighter with the CFD?
Oh, it's quite an involved process, actually. People don't realize how hard it is. First question people ask me is, "Oh, don't you know people? Don't you know Stu Laird?" And yes, I know Stu Laird, and I know quite a number of firefighters, but no one can help you get in. They can invite you to go visit them at their hall to see what they do. You can go sit down and kind of pick their brains, but no one's pushing you through hoops easily. But it's really hard. I applied in 2014, in August 2014, and whether it's interviews, aptitude tests, polygraphs, personal history views, physicals, medicals. There's a number of tests you have to do and a battery of exams you got to go through before you can get your number called. And then once you do most of these tests, which I've done and I've passed and completed, it's a waiting game. And the waiting game is basically based on city budget and number of recruits versus the number of retirees they're going to have every year. So, right now I sit on the list and I'm not sure exactly what my number is. I'll say I'm somewhere in the 70s. And, this year they've opened up one class of 20 guys. So they ask a number of guys that are on that queue if they are going to be ready to be firemen. And if they are, then, they accept them into the next class. And if not, they move on to the next guy. And that's kind of how that's kind of how it goes. So I just have to wait for my number to be called.
Geez, it's kind of like in a lot of ways you're playing the waiting limbo game, football wise here with the career after football. I mean, I guess how much perspective does that kind of lend to you, knowing that there's all that uncertainty and you don't really know when or if or all those definitive answers.
Yeah, you know what? You hit the nail on the head with it. Whenever people ask me like what's going on, it's so hard to describe because it's such a long transition. If the fire department would call me tomorrow and say, "Hey, we want you to come in," I'd be ready to go. And and then with football, I'd say, I don't think I'd be going anywhere if someone called me. If I start my career as a fireman, I'd be done football. But the fire career is about a year and a half away at least, I believe. And in the meantime, I haven't started anything permanent that would preclude me from going to another football team. So it's just definitely a new situation for myself and my family. I've never really been in this, but the great thing is I'm doing some really neat things in town. Really excited about some of the things we're doing. I'm starting this football camp with Coach Tom Higgins and former UFC coach Tony Fasano. And we're really excited to get that going this year.
Well, we were going to talk about it. What, you worried that we were just going to, hang up and not get to it? What?
No.
I was going to get to it.
That's one of the things that I've been slowly nurturing, and it's becoming a labor of love of ours. And it's one of the things that I guess going back to your original question, kind of distracts me from when training camp opens on Sunday. And it's still an involvement with football, and it's an involvement with some really great football minds that, it can sort of take the place of that in my mental and emotional space.
Well, let's talk about it with Randy Chevrier, our guest here on The Big Show. Tom Higgins, former head coach of the Calgary Stampeders, and actually he coached you on a couple of different occasions. You guys were together up in Edmonton. You went up there. You were here together. He was most recently with the Montreal Alouettes, who spent time, he's a former Stampeder, spent some time in the league office in terms of officiating. He's done it all. You've played, I think, every position but quarterback at some point for the Stampeders. I'm excited about this. Tell me about the Canadian Football Academy.
Well, so Tom Higgins and Tony Fasano, who's also a former head coach of the USC, got together and they decided that we have to find a way to, one, coach football safer, and two, coach it better. And, there's no better guy to follow than Tom. He's got such a distinguished career just dating back from NCAA all the way to his, as you said, in the CFL. And, our aim is to really improve the quality of coaching in football and the quality of coaches in football, starting with, the city of Calgary, because let's face it, football, the sport of football, especially at the minor level, is facing a bit of an identity crisis, victim of quite a bit of bad PR, and the enrollment numbers are down. If they're down in the States, they're for sure down in Canada. And the States can survive that type of thing because, it's just so many kids play football out there. But in Canada, if you're losing great athletes that don't even want to try the sport because, whether it's parents fear injury or, kids heard that, it's not coached very well, the coaches aren't necessarily up to speed with the way we treat athletes these days, the sport's going to die. And so we're aware of that fact, and with that in mind, we created the Academy to not only encourage kids to play this game that we love and that has impacted our lives so positively, but also to encourage their parents to realize that this game can be played safely and can be coached safely. So that's what the Academy is all about. And, we had a leadership night in April with some of the top high school coaches in Calgary and some of their top players. And it was not a camp, sorry, it was a clinic. And it was a great success. And it was a really great moment for us to kind of kick things off. And now the next big event we have coming up is our summer football skills camp going throughout the summer.
So who should be at this camp? We had Ray Jacobs on, former Stampeder, before, and he was talking about the National Youth Football Organization, and they were using non-contact football as an entry point to football. But the program you're talking about, I believe, Randy, is 4 players. This is a skill academy, right? This is to improve their skills?
Yes, this is their skills. So it's for bantam-aged and high school players. So anyone that's played, bantam, high school, or midget in Calgary, anyone that's looking to play bantam, high school, or midget football next year. For all those kids, we'd love to have them out. It's a full summer camp, 8 weeks of skills. There's 24 sessions. So our belief is that you can't develop positive habits in a 1-week camp. You need a full summer. You need repetitive skill development in order to create positive habits. And so for us, we're going to be going 3 days a week, starting June 14th all the way to August 7th. And it's going to be great. We're going to have some top-level coaches. Coach Higgins is going to be designing the curriculum for everyone, and he's basically laying out how he wants to coach. And the coaches are all going to be certified by Tom. We're not just picking any Joes. He's handpicking the coaches, and the kids are going to be exposed to some top-level skill development. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun for the first year. I mean, we're obviously kicking it off this year, but we expect it to grow. We've got about 35 kids. We're looking for 60 by the time it's all said and done for the summer, because we want to make sure that, we're giving them quality coaching. But, we're very excited about this.
And it should be pointed out, this is non-contact skill development, right? So this,
right.
We're going through that whole process of safety, and this is not a place where kids are going to get, more hits. That's out of the question. This is just about skill development.
So it's non-padded. There's no pads. We will teach tackling the proper way.
Right.
We're eliminating impacts. We're eliminating the head injuries. We're basically trying to coach it so that kids can maximize their potential in practice and minimizing the exposure to injury situations. If kids are going to get injured playing football, our hope, like any sport, is that they don't get injured. But if they get injured, we want to make sure that, as they say, save it for the game. I know in the NHL when they practice hockey, they're not practicing full body checking in practice. They do their skills, they work drills, they work on their schemes, and then, they save it for the game. And if it happens in the game, well, that happens, and that's unfortunate. And that's kind of what we got to get with football, is that you can coach it without these crazy contacts that will put guys out in practice.
Where can people get more information, Randy?
If you go to the website, www.canadianfootballacademy.ca, you can find everything there. There's an online registration. If anyone's listening to this today and they got 2 kids, son or daughter, and a buddy that want to join, I'll give you a 2-for-1. Just go to the contact us section and write in the comments that you heard me on the radio. And we'll get in touch with you. We'd love to have some kids out there. We're at Shriners Field down in the northwest, just off, just along the Bow River in Bowness. And it's going to be a really great time.
All right, so we've lived up to our part of the bargain. Now you're part of the bargain. We want to get you and Tom Higgins in studio one day, talk some football. Can we make that happen?
Okay. Yeah, I believe we can make that happen. That's I'll talk to the coach, and we can be in for sure.
You're the best, Randy. We want everybody to check it out. Again, CanadianFootballAcademy.ca is the website. I just tweeted out the link so people can get it there as well. Good to talk to you. Hopefully you and your wife will get to celebrate your 40th birthdays. But my guess is, since you've made plans, you're going to get a phone call. You're going to a camp. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I told my wife this. I said, when I signed with Edmonton in 2002, we were sitting at a baseball game watching the Montreal Expos, one of their final seasons in Montreal. We were sitting at a baseball game, and Tom Higgins called me at that game, and I signed with the Expos right then and there. And we were planning to go watch either a Dodgers or a Padres game. So I expect a phone call sometime around the 7th inning of whatever baseball game we go choose to watch.
You're the man. Be well, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Matt and Rob, thanks, guys. You guys do great work. Appreciate you.
There you go.
Bye, Chev.
Yes. I'll use the regular phone next time. You know, the one with the rotary dialer? I'll use that.
Please do. It'll sound better than your Bluetooth.
Okay.
Thanks, pal. Bye, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.